Hey, you guys, what's going on? This is Kev JB here. It is good to see you all again. I hope everybody is doing well. So I'm not gonna be before you long. Actually, I have a number of things I need to do. Some pleasant, some not so pleasant that I have to take care of um for today. But I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this topic about being human, and I've been wanting to talk about it because of some of you all know about the situation that's going on with the well-known church leader. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm not going to talk about the case surrounding him. I just want to be able to discuss something that I've been hearing a lot when it comes to a lot of evangelical leaders and church leaders. Um, Whenever they're being held to a higher standard for things, and that's the idea of we all sin and come short of glory. We're all human and things like that, and there that is true to an extent, but many times it's misused and mishandled and abused in a way to keep them from being held accountable for whatever standard that they're supposed to have with with the position that they are you know seated with, or the responsibilities that they're seated with. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we get into that, make sure that you hit the like button. If you know somebody who would use this particular video, this particular understanding, share this with someone. I'm pretty sure that I'm hoping that people will enjoy it. If you're new here, make sure that you hit the not only the like button but also the subscribe button, and click the notification bell so that way you are alerted each time there is a brand new video. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this topic. The topic is about the problem with being human, and honestly, to this, I kind of use it as a play on words because there's nothing wrong with being human. We're all human, but oftentimes when we talk about being human, we do it from the standpoint of kind of like the low level, the basic standard of what it means to be in an entity on this planet, as a human being. It's often talked from the standpoint of sex many times, and sexual behavior. But the truth of the matter is, everything, practically everything on this planet has sex. Animals have sex, plants have sex. If you ever see pollen during the spring, those are basically plants mating and having sex. And it's often done to um, excuse a lot of character flaws. Now, it's one thing to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, after I share the screen to the etymology of the word human. We all make mistakes in life, but a lot of times, when we are constantly living a lifestyle from that quote unquote mistake, that's not a mistake anymore. That is who you are. That's your character. That's the discipline, or the lack thereof, that you have developed over time, or that has been developed for you to create the person that you are. And so we're going to talk about that. Matter of fact, let me share my screen so that way we can actually talk about it. All right. Um, so here we go. I'm going to exit the layout here. And we're going to talk about what it means to be human with the adjective. It starts off as the adjective, then we get into the noun. So according to the etymology, it comes from the Old French humane, and then from Latin humanus, of man, human, which also means humane, philanthropic, kind, gentle, polite, learned, refined, and civilized. Now you can see all the other stuff there. I'm not going to really get into all of that. I mean, there's just other details involved in that, and how that's a reference to the earth and things like that. But I really want to get into these key words right here, where it says humane, philanthropic, kind, gentle, polite, learned, refined, and civilized. So that lets us know that it's being human is not just simply being just the human entity that we are. It's about um the the behavior. There's a manner or a behavior, or a kind of a training or improvement that we're supposed to undergo, to show that we are, not necessarily perfect, but we're being the best version of ourselves. Many times when we talk about personal development, we're actually, what in many regards, what we're talking about is just simply doing a better job as a human being, growing as a human being, whether you're a man or woman, or whatever you may be in life. Whatever you may be in life, whatever you identify with, is being the best version of that possible. And you do that by learning how to love others. You do that by growing. You do that by becoming more refined in how you handle things, how you may say things, how you may think about things. That right there is part of what personal development is about. Self-love, self-care, and just growing yourself from mind, spirit, and in any way, shape, or form, in heart or whatever feelings. And so many times when we talk about being human, or you see people mishandle the word human, they often use mistakes as the standpoint of, well, we're all just simply human, or we all have fallen short in some way. We should be able to judge and things like that. Now, here's the thing: there is truth to that. People make mistakes all the time. As long as we're learning and growing and developing from the mistakes to get better, that is the thing that should matter, absolutely. However, when people start to use these vices that have grown from maybe mistakes, or mistakes that have turned to vices, or just personal vices that they may have grown up and developed and not really have gained full mastery over, and it starts overtaking them, and it becomes a behavior or a path that leads to a wrong direction. Then that becomes a problem, because then you're covering up the situation that's going on. And to add to that, you're also gaslighting and manipulating the information from people who can clearly see what is happening and what is going on. So I'm encouraging each of you to really be careful of people who use the idea of being human as a way to excuse behavior that does not need to be excused. It is one thing to come up short, and if that's the case, you find ways to make that up. You find ways to redeem yourself in that time period. It's okay to make a mistake, but when you start making lifetime decisions, or you make a lifestyle from what it is that you have done, that's not a human thing anymore. That is somebody who is walking into deviancy, whether it's sexual, whether it's physical, whether it's social, psychopathy, or whatever. That is somebody who is walking in a path that is leading to their decay and their decline. In fact, it's a representation of their decay or stagnation, and their decline. It reveals itself in that manner. So if you are listening to people who are making excuses for that, you need to think twice about who you are relating to. And this is not just to be talking about the case. Everybody knows the whole situation um, with this particular preacher. I'm not going to mention his name. You're probably familiar with it if you've been listening to the news. It's not just about him. It's about anybody that is coming into your life, or anybody who you may know who is walking the same path that shows that there is a decline in their humanity, or how they may behave in a way that is humane. And you're seeing people make excuses for it. If you are seeing people doing that, that probably is a sign that they are either great fans, that they don't even want to acknowledge that something's going on, or there may be people who may be into that same behavior, or in that same pathology, or the same in certain acts that are similar to what that person may be doing, and they're trying to find ways to cover that up. If that is the case, please do what you can to act accordingly to the information that's given to you. That means that you need to speak out against it. You need to get away from this person, whatever the case may be. Do what you have to do, but do not let the whole idea of being human be only limited to simply what people do wrong within um, a moment, and then they use that to explain away the behaviors that have created the decline in their attitude, or how they should be acting accordingly to society. That is not what being human is about. We should all be doing our best to improve upon ourselves, to grow, to develop. And even if we are making mistakes, we grow from that and we learn from it, so that way that we can improve, become better by it. If they are not getting better by it, by the mistakes that they're making, or they are making a lifestyle choices that they are calling mistakes, they're mislabeling as mistakes, that is somebody who is on decline. Be careful of those types of people, and be careful of those who try to defend that. All right. So that's the topic that I wanted to have. Thank you for listening. I hope that you all have a great day. I got to get back to the things that I need to do. And remember to like the video if you enjoy it. Share to someone who may need to hear this. Somebody who is making an excuse for anyone who is doing something that is of deviancy and try to label it as being human or trying to minimize it in any way, you may need to share this with someone, or you may just need this for yourself and it as a way to being careful of those who are doing those things. That's the thing. That's something to think about as well. But if you know somebody who needs to hear that, make sure that you share it. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. That way you are alerted every time there is a new video. I'm hoping that in the future I'm going to create more short videos. Some of the shorter videos I have done, I think I've done 2 so far. You'll be able to see more of those coming up soon. So I hope you guys are enjoying the channel, and I'm so grateful for you all being here throughout 2023, despite my inconsistencies. And I'm going to do better by that. All right. So that's me trying holding myself accountable to my own responsibilities on what I can and should be doing on this channel. All right. So that's what it means to be human. I will wish you a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.